Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look again at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We got a nice little bounce off this low level here at about 63,400. So when we looked at liquidation yesterday, again, there's that heavy concentration about 63,000 or 62,800. So we got to recognize we may see one more leg down as a potential reality because there's roughly $11 billion in liquidation at that level. But for right now, we'll take this. And what's great about this too, for those who are holding altcoins are not pulling back super hard. They're starting to bottom out. And even though Bitcoin's pulling back, altcoins are just kind of stabilizing. So it's a very, very good sign. Okay, we like to see that, absolutely positive. So good stuff to kind of start there. Even though, yes, Bitcoin's down, we're not seeing that belly flop from the rest of the market. So let's quickly look here at some important stuff. First, this last 7-day look back for Bitcoin, we can kind of see here that most recent level liquidation at 63,800 was swept. That was about $3 billion in liquidation. So we talked about that yesterday being a potential reality. It came true, so that's kind of where we're at there. Taking a look over here, of course, at the monthly. In the last month, there it goes, $10.97 billion in liquidation at 62,700. We're close to that level now. So keep in mind, that's still a strong, distinct probability. I have limit orders in that range at 63 to 60,000. Personally, that's just me. But again, I'm a spot bag holder for Bitcoin more specifically. So that's kind of where we're at there. So anyways, these are mostly positive signs here in a lot of different ways. Positive because alts are not dying off really heavy, and Bitcoin's pulling back to levels that we like. So it's good for long holders, but not so great for shorts. In fact, we have a short right now that we opened with Caspa, and that's been up and down, just traveling below and above our current entry for the last 24 hours. So may consider closing that if Bitcoin continues to show some strength and altcoins continue to do well. Speaking of which, we take a look at Bitcoin dominance. It is starting to pull back down to that upper or that lower 55% range. So this is positive for altcoins again, and generally favorable for the market. Okay. So daily time frame, where are we at here? Let's take a look here and see what's going on. So when we looked at this yesterday, we were talking about this larger term ascending trend line. We're still holding above it, so that's positive, right? Definitely a good sign. Not phenomenal by any stretch because we're still below all moving averages. We will be for some time, and we got that resistance at 66 to 67,000 roughly. So keep in mind, this is not like a phenomenal situation. I'm not super excited about it, but it's good to see altcoins actually, starting to find their bottom, which is a great sign here too. A lot of them are retesting their more recent highs or last year highs. So it's very ridiculous and amazing at the same time, right? Anyways, we look at this here. We got this 0.5 fib level holding so far at 64,300. That is roughly the area in which we want to close today to have any kind of success or bounce from here. We could very well see the price recover from here. Because again, we do have a falling wedge pattern here. It's a little easier to see on smaller time frames, but the price action is working its way down. Generally, it works its way back up once it does that. We saw the same thing occur here. This is a falling wedge as well. Okay. I wouldn't expect monumental increase, but I wouldn't be surprised either if that occurs. We're getting closer to 30 on the RSI, which is generally favorable. Usually you see a bounce around that 30 range for the RSI on the daily. Stochastic's trying to swing up and MACD is starting to plateau. So this is a shift in momentum. Is it just awesome, perfect? The price is going to turn around. We got some hidden divergences. No, it's very simple, vanilla here. Still looking bearish, but there's some larger macro beneficial things that we can see are still present, right? Anyways, I'm not super convinced that we're just going to see an instant recovery. I'd be very surprised if we don't see one more liquidity sweep to the downside to take care of that $11 billion in liquidation and just turn around, Bob's your uncle, right? That's kind of what we're expecting. Does does crypto work out the way you always want it to? Absolutely not. In fact, it rarely works out the way you want it to. Sometimes the important thing is just kind of to flounder within the ranges that you hope are present. And right now, if we look at the RSI on the 4-hour, we're getting closer to, again, that potential bouncing point. You can also see stochastic RSI swinging up there. MACD is starting to lose its momentum on the downside. So these are some favorable signs here. If we do look at the moving averages, we're still below all 4 moving averages. So again, don't get it twisted, folks. This is not a perfect situation at all. Bitcoin is still riding the struggle bus. We just see some smaller time frame benefits that are tentatively beneficial. All right. Again, there is no reason to consider the price actually going to go up any further. Now, at this point, just keep in mind we had this. I had this pattern drawn out here for this descending channel, and you can see the price action basically rejected off this resistance level at 66,300. So keep in mind that area is still going to be a resistance until we break through that. We're going to need a lot of volume to blast through that guy. But at this point here on the hourly, we take a look, again, we're all bearish signs here. There's nothing here telling us that opening a long position makes sense. Again, that's generally how confirmation works. You're always going to you're going to be kind of late to the party in most cases. Me personally, I'd much rather be late to the party and have a good time than be early and have a bad time, right? Again, there's a lot of analogies you can extract here, but at this point, it's still very premature to consider jumping into a trade. While I can agree that we are nicely bottoming out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 candles, kind of unwilling to go below that 63,700 mark. We saw a wick all the way down to 63.4, and I wouldn't be surprised again, just one last candle wick down any further. So if you have a liquidation level somewhere in the range of 63, low 63, upper 62K range, you may want to consider closing that position or perhaps adding to your margin if that's your thing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but at this point here, it's important to recognize that one more leg down would make sense. But again, a slight relief rally would also be sensible too. Continue to work yourself into this descending channel. But last thing, just to kind of reiterate and reaffirm for you folks. Again, this is a very positive sign. If you look at its history, when Bitcoin has falling wedge patterns, they generally always break to the upside. Falling wedge patterns are very successful trading patterns. So this is what's happening right now so far loosely. And we can see that there's definitely strong potential for us to break out eventually. But the trick about these falling wedge patterns isn't to jump in and try to find the bottom. It's to be able to get in when the price action comes back to retest that trend line. So like here's a good example, just to give you perspective on how to find a good entry on a falling wedge. When the price breaks free from this descending trend here, like this, when it comes back down to perform a bullish backtest, that's when you get in. The reason why it's beneficial is because it's establishing higher lows. And once you get that higher low in, then you can kind of take off from there. Now, I wouldn't expect this current trend to be exactly like that. But in a perfect world, the price comes up here, breaks through this level here, consolidates in that range, and then that's where you want to get in at 66.5 or low 66K range. I know, you're probably struggling with the idea. What do you mean? Why wait to that level to get in for long when you can get in this early? Well, truth is we don't know how much further down Bitcoin's going to go. So again, there's risks in everything you do with trading. So it's just a matter of minimizing that, right? Hopefully that makes sense. I described that correctly. Thanks again so much for watching. Obviously, make sure that you join us over on Twitter, Telegram, TikTok, now YouTube, and TikTok Shorts, of course. And yeah, just check it out. See if you like it. But either way, join us on our Discord too. We got a lot of new members over there for our Trading Academy. Make sure you learn as much as you can. And of course, if you want to join us with our trade signals, we've adjusted them a little bit, and our day trades have been firing on all cylinders. So awesome stuff there. Congrats to our day traders. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next one. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.